For months, she parked in his driveway like she owned it. He asked politely. She ignored him. He left notes. She threw them away. Then, he called the tow truck. Twice. What happened next? A downfall so public, the whole neighborhood watched it unfold. Reggie Carter was a patient man. He had to be. He spent his days managing a classroom full of middle schoolers in Lakeland, Florida, trying to make science exciting for kids who cared more about their phones than the periodic table. His home was his sanctuary, a modest but well-kept single-story brick house with a neatly trimmed lawn and a driveway just big enough for his car. It wasn't much, but it was his, a place where he could unwind, grade papers, and watch the game in peace. Until Blythe Vanderholt decided his driveway was hers. At first, it seemed like a mistake. The first time Reggie saw her silver Lexus RX sitting in his driveway, he figured it was a one-time thing. Maybe she had guests over and needed to shuffle cars around. No big deal, but then it happened again and again. At first, she had excuses. Oh, I was just running inside for a second. Or just dropping something off. She'd flash a tight-lipped smile and wave her manicured hand as if that was supposed to be enough. Reggie didn't like it, but he wasn't the type to make a big deal out of nothing. Until the day he came home exhausted, ready to collapse on the couch only to find her Lexus parked dead center in his driveway again. This time, no one was in sight. Enough was enough. He knocked on her door. She answered with a smirk, already knowing why he was there. "Reggie, what's wrong?" she asked, feigning innocence. "Your car is in my spot again." She blinked like the thought had never even crossed her mind. "Oh, that? I had a delivery, and the driver needed room to back out." "You don't mind, do you?" "I do, actually." He kept his voice calm. "I need you to stop parking in my driveway." She sighed dramatically. "Reggie, I live right next door. It's not like I'm parking on some stranger's property." "You're parking on mine," she scoffed. "Are you really that bothered by a car sitting there for a few minutes?" "It's not a few minutes. It keeps happening, and I need it to stop." She laughed, rolling her eyes. All right. No need to get worked up. I'll move it." And she did, that time. But it didn't stop. Over the next few weeks, Reggie came home to find her car exactly where it shouldn't be. Notes disappeared. Knocks on her door went unanswered. One evening, he pulled up to see not just her car, but a shiny black BMW sitting in his driveway. That was it. Reggie snapped a picture, knocked on her door harder this time. She answered, her face full of fake annoyance. "Reggie," she sighed, dragging out his name like he was the problem. "Whose car is that?" "Oh, my friend's. We were having a little get-together, and well, you weren't home, so I thought it wouldn't matter." "It does matter," Reggie said firmly. "This isn't a parking lot. This is my home." She tilted her head, pretending like he was the unreasonable one. "Well, you should have said something earlier. I would have moved it." He clenched his jaw. "I am saying something." "Move the car." She rolled her eyes, but finally called her friend. Reggie waited. 5 minutes, 10, 15. At 20 minutes, he was done waiting. The next morning, he called the HOA. He didn't expect much. Blythe was practically royalty on the board. And sure enough, their response was useless. "Sir, unless there's physical damage to your property, we really don't get involved in neighbor disputes." So, Reggie handled it himself. That night, he left one last note on her windshield. Bold letters, "Do not park here again." When he came home, the note was gone. But her Lexus was still there. Fuming, he walked to her door and knocked hard. She answered, wine glass in hand, looking relaxed and smug. "Reggie," she drawled, "I meant to text you, but I figured you wouldn't mind since you always park on the street anyway." He flexed his fingers at his sides, forcing himself to stay calm. "I do mind. This is my property, Blythe." She laughed. "Reggie, seriously. You're getting bent out of shape over a driveway." "No," he said. "I'm getting bent out of shape because I've told you over and over to stop doing this, and you keep ignoring me." She smirked, swirling the wine in her glass. Some people are just so uptight about the smallest things. That was it. Reggie pulled out his phone and saved the number for the towing company. The next time Blythe parked in his driveway, Reggie didn't knock. He didn't leave a note. He didn't call her. He called the tow truck instead. 20 minutes later, a truck pulled up. The driver assessed the situation and nodded. She parked in your driveway. Yep, got proof of ownership. Reggie pulled out his property deed. He came prepared. Minutes later, Blythe's Lexus RX was lifted off the ground and hauled away. An hour later, she pounded on his door. Where's my car? Reggie opened the door slowly, looking completely unbothered. Oh, you mean the one illegally parked in my driveway? Don't play games with me, Reggie. Where's IT? Towed, he said simply. She gasped. You did what? You heard me. You wouldn't stop, so I had it removed. Simple as that. She let out a hysterical laugh. You're going to pay for this. I'm on the HOA board. I have connections. Reggie blinked. Good for you. Your car's at Sunshine towing off Orange Blossom Trail. Have a good night. And with that, he shut the door. Blythe wasn't done. She tried revenge passive-aggressive notes, fake HOA complaints, even calling security on him for suspicious activity. But it backfired. The community turned against her. Her influence crumbled. Eventually, she lost her seat on the HOA board. And then, one day, a for sale sign appeared in her yard. She was moving. Reggie, he just smiled. Some people think they can push others around forever. But eventually, they mess with the wrong person. And when that person fights back, the whole world watches them fall. Enjoyed this story? Don't forget to subscribe to Unfolded Tales Explained and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new story.